Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television GPTV. I'm Brett, and my hands is Spectregraph number 3, with 4th issue out, coming out soon. Kind of feel like I wanted to catch up and finish off what's been released so far before that. It's written by James Tynion IV, illustrated and colored by Christian Ward, lettered by Aditya Bidikar. So the basic story of this is there's this house that was designed to try to capture ghosts. That the individual in there has this obsession about like living forever or being around forever, and decided to create this machine to capture ghosts. It's very House on Haunted Hill. I keep on saying this with every review, but that's the vibe I get from this. So they decide to. It seemed to have worked at some point, and this group of goth-ish whatever sends this one woman in to become a ghost, and I guess maybe see if it works or like pass on a message or whatever. It's a little kind of murky as to exactly what the plan and motivation is, but also tied into it is this real estate person, and the real estate person has left her child at home unattended in a booster seat. So we've got a naive person who's been suckered into possibly getting killed by ghosts, and then this mom who is a horrible person. So it's kind of hard to root for people in this one. Honestly, it's a lot of jackasses in this. But this is an interesting issue. We learn a little bit more about the individuals behind this ghost machine, and I think it adds a lot to the series, and it kind of actually is making me think more and more about the themes and the idea of the ghosts and the motivations behind it. So, two individuals that own this house are a gay couple. We're flashed back to, like, it seems like, I think it was the 90s, and they're kind of reflecting, and one just came back from a funeral, clearly is discussing the person who's passed away is most likely gay, most likely died of AIDS, which is still, in the 90s, was very, like, hush-hush, shameful thing for families, so they didn't really want to admit or talk about it, which kind of puts in an interesting perspective of the idea of this house capturing ghosts or like creating people that lives forever, and the motivations behind it. And for those who don't really know the history, is the AIDS epidemic was truly an epidemic. I mean, millions died. It's reverberates to today. It's one that like ravaged its way through certain populations, of one of which was the LGBTQ community. And what it did in that community was it basically wiped out a generation. A lot of people today will say it killed the elder gays. So there's like literally just this like dip in age range of people who are gay, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that many of them died due to AIDS. It was a genocide. I'll outright say it was a complete genocide. So having this one individual obsessed about capturing individuals to live forever, like the motivation coming out of it comes really interesting with that in perspective. And it kind of, a lot of stuff that came out of the AIDS activist movement was attempts to capture the history of individuals and the LGBT movement before these people passed away, and then to remember these individuals afterwards. So you had things like the AIDS quilt as a prime example of this. But there was also a lot of other things. There was attempts to like just record conversations with individuals. So you kind of now have to sit back and reflect on this house whose goal is to capture individuals so that they can live forever, which is a lot of what this like reaction to this genocide is that, there was a thing like we need to fight, we need to try to stop it, but also of like there's a chance we can't stop it. We need to kind of capture the voices and remember what happened for future generations, so that history doesn't get lost, and hopefully lessons can be learned. Clear lessons haven't been learned, but it's, I think, a fascinating thing, and I kind of, there's something there between the building of this machine and that history, and I find that really fascinating. It's interesting. Like, it's just really, really interesting to me. So I'm fascinated by this. Like, I think it's a really intriguing part of it all. And that's, to me, I think the key out of this particular issue is we get that history, we get that motivation as our two individuals are running throughout this house trying to survive and trying to escape. I think there's some things that are very obvious. Clearly the one individual who was putting this together is one of the ghosts captured inside. My guess is the other ghosts are kind of like echoes of him, like body parts. So you take apart the human, you have the skin, then you have blubber, then you have nerve systems. That seems to be kind of what's running around, is these different layers of humanity, which again plays into this really interesting concept of everything that happened. And I think that's kind of what's there. So hopefully it all comes together in not, pun not intended, in the fourth issue, and I'm really interested to see if these themes come together, if these kind of ideas are explored more obviously or just outright just said. I would be really, really interested in seeing, like, if that's discussed at all. The art by Christian Ward is fascinating. Like, it's horror, but there's, like, really vibrant colors that are, like, ethereal and just... It's interesting. Like, it's really, really intriguing. And when you kind of put this more into, like, a perspective, an LGBT perspective or LGBT, like, memory, like, these yellows and pinks and blues and these bright hues get more intriguing. Because they seem to, like, more like a darker reflection or almost like a prism of a pride flag in some way. So I mean, there's some there's a lot you can dive into and really discuss on this comic series. Really interesting stuff. I think I'm liking it more and more and more as it goes on, especially when you kind of start getting to this depth and these layers of it. So intriguing series. I'm really fascinated to see how it all ends. I believe the finale is out this week. Hopefully we'll get a copy. I'm excited to check it out. But yeah, if you want your own copy of this, you can hit up your local shop. We got links beneath this video. Put in your zip code, tell the comic shops near you. No shop, no problem. We have some links where you can purchase our own. There'll be affiliate links, so we do get a small percentage, and by doing that, you help support our site. So thank you. Just watching our videos support us as always, so thank you for that. If you are into comics, check us out every day at graphicpolicy.com. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, Instagram, TikTok, Mastodon, Threads, Blue Sky, all that stuff. All at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice and consistent. Until next time, keep reading those comics and keep it geeky. Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.